$1,000 a month sounds small. It is not. Most people who chase this number quit before they understand what it actually requires. Today we break down the real math, the real time, and the real reasons so many people get this wrong. Let's set the parameters first. When we say $1,000 a month, we mean consistent, repeatable income. Not a lucky month, not a one-time sale. $12,000 a year, landing in your account every single month, whether you feel like working or not. That distinction matters more than almost anything else in this video. Here is the first myth. People think $1,000 a month is easy because the number sounds small compared to a full salary. But small numbers hide big requirements. A Federal Reserve survey on household economic well-being has repeatedly found that a large share of American adults could not cover an unexpected $400 expense using cash or its equivalent. If $400 once is a stretch for millions of households, $1,000 every single month is not casual money. It is a second income stream, and second income streams require structure. So what does it actually take? Let's build this in stages. Stage 1 is time. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics wage data, the median hourly wage for many entry-level service and gig-based roles sits somewhere between $15 and $20 an hour before taxes. At that rate, hitting $1,000 a month in raw labor means roughly 50 to 65 hours of work every single month just to clear the number before tax. That is more than a full extra work week. Most people budget for the income. Almost nobody budgets for the hours. Stage 2 is taxes. And this is where the number quietly shrinks. Self-employment income in the United States is generally subject to both income tax and self-employment tax, which covers Social Security and Medicare contributions. Depending on your bracket and location, a realistic combined tax bite on side income often lands between 20 and 30%, so that $1,000 on paper can become $700 to $800 in your pocket. Did you budget for that gap? Most beginners do not. And that is exactly where the frustration starts. Stage 3 is consistency, which is the hardest and least talked about part of this milestone. Earning $1,000 once is a good month. Earning it 12 times in a row through slow weeks, sick days, and algorithm changes is a business. Pew Research has documented that a meaningful share of U.S. adults have earned money through some form of gig or online platform work, but far fewer reported as reliable, ongoing income. The gap between trying gig work and depending on gig work is enormous. That gap is where most people quietly give up. Why does consistency break so often? Look at the shape of most people's attempts. They start strong in week 1, post content, message clients, set up a shop. Week 2 brings a slower response than expected. Week 3 brings a life event, a busy stretch at their main job, a sick kid, a bad week. The income stream pauses. And once it pauses, restarting takes real energy, because momentum in any income-generating activity is not just about the work itself, it is about staying visible to the people who might pay you. Miss a few weeks of outreach, content, or client contact, and you are not picking up where you left off. You are starting over. So how do people actually reach it? Let's look at real paths, not fantasy ones. Path 1 is service-based freelancing. Something like writing, virtual assistants, bookkeeping, or design. At a modest rate of $25 an hour, you need roughly 40 hours a month, about 10 hours a week, to clear $1,000 before tax. That is realistic for someone working part-time around a job or school. It is not instant. Building a client base that fills 10 hours a week reliably usually takes a few months of outreach before income stabilizes. Path 2 is a small product or content business. Think print-on-demand, digital templates, or a niche content channel with ad and affiliate income. This path has almost no hourly ceiling, but it has a much longer runway before the first dollar even appears. Many creators report 6 to 12 months of unpaid effort before monetization becomes consistent. The upside is real. The patience required is often underestimated. Path 3 is a local service: tutoring, pet care, small repairs, cleaning. This path tends to reach $1,000 fastest because demand is immediate and local, but it caps out quickly unless you raise your rate or bring on help, since your time is the entire business. Notice what none of these paths involve: None of them involve a secret platform, a hidden loophole, or an app that pays you passively for doing nothing. Every realistic route to $1,000 a month runs through one of three things: your time traded directly for money, your time invested up front into a product that sells repeatedly, or your time spent building trust with a small group of paying clients. There is no fourth option that skips the time requirement entirely. If a claim online skips straight past hours, taxes, and consistency, that claim is the part you should be skeptical of. Now here is where the country context matters, because $1,000 a month does not mean the same thing everywhere. In a lower cost of living country, $1,000 a month can meaningfully change a household's financial position. In a high cost of living city in the United States, Australia, or parts of Western Europe, that same $1,000 might only cover a fraction of monthly rent. The number is fixed. What it buys is not. This is why so much online advice about hitting income milestones falls apart the moment you apply real geography to it. Let's bring the stages together. 50 to 65 hours of monthly effort, a 20 to 30% tax reduction on what you earn, several months, often 3 to 6, before income becomes predictable rather than lucky, and a final dollar amount whose real-world value depends entirely on where you live and what your fixed costs look like. That is the honest shape of $1,000 a month. Not impossible, not instant, structural. Here is the reality check most people need. $1,000 a month rewards consistency far more than it rewards talent. The person who shows up for 10 unglamorous hours a week for 6 straight months will almost always out-earn the person chasing a single viral idea. Discipline compounds, luck does not. So why do so many people get this wrong? Because they treat $1,000 a month as a finish line instead of a floor. In reality, this milestone is the proof of concept stage. It is where you learn whether your time, your skill, and your market actually connect into something repeatable. Once that connection is proven at $1,000, scaling to $2,000 or $5,000 becomes a matter of adding hours, raising rates, or adding systems, not reinventing the entire plan. If you are starting from zero, the honest advice is this: pick one path: service, product, or local. Commit to it for at least 90 days before judging whether it works. Track your actual hourly return after tax, not before. And measure your progress in consistency, not in single good weeks. $1,000 a month sounds small, but now you know what is actually hiding behind that number: the hours, the tax, the months of built-up trust, and the geography that decides what it is really worth. Most people get this wrong because they only see the number. Now you have seen the math behind it.